Hello, back in the lockdown workshop again. Little bit tidier. We did some work yesterday. I don't know if the video's been uploaded yet. Got such a backlog. Got the heating on today. It's flipping freezing. So this is the weekend after Storm Eunice. Everything's absolutely saturated. I don't know if you can see out there for the white balance. That's the view. As the chickens are still in lockdown, so they're not allowed free rein anymore. The ducks are allowed out only occasionally, but quite sensibly they've locked themselves inside because they're waterfowl. Heater's on. Right, what have we got today? The green machine. So I don't think I've had this bike in before. I've had bits of it in. I've had the wheels in several times. In fact, I think they were possibly the very first thing the lockdown workshop did. Before it was even the lockdown workshop, I even had to make a special tool to tighten up the spokes because they're recessed in the rim. Lovely machine, these. It's a shame that I don't think they make them anymore. It's had a bit of an accident. The frame's been repaired. I don't do that. I think he came off and the bars were lower down and they smacked into there and took the cross. Whoops, pointing at the wrong place. The bar spun round, took the cross member out. That's been repaired by a professional carbon frame repairist. They couldn't match the colour because it was white originally, and colour coded the top piece that they'd repaired to match in with the thing, but it didn't look right. And I think at the time they wanted something that stood out, and everybody had a black bike, and then everybody's got a white bike, so it was white before. So now it's a rather fetching shade of green. He sprayed himself, done a really good job of it actually. Rattle can and then lacquered on top of it. He's had the transfers made. Cracking bike, lovely. Anyway, it's here because he's taken it as far as he can, and he just wants me to finish off setting up the indexing on the gears and give it a once over. So we'll do the standard M check on it and just check everything's all right. I'm sure it will be, but just for my own peace of mind, I'm just going to give it a once over, especially with it being a Planet X, because they, as you've probably seen, they're a little bit notorious for having loose headset bearings. It's had a new bottom bracket. Everything else is standard, I think. I don't think the cables have been changed. They've just come straight back on again. So hopefully it should be fairly straightforward. New pedals. Obviously, I think it's had some new bar tape. I don't think that was green before. Anyway, need to get it ready because he's off racing this year again. Now the COVID-ness is less and there's more competitions on. I think he's going to Vici, which is a good one. Anyway, right, enough waffle. Let's crack on. Stop recording. Hopefully you can see there. So, basic M check. You can start at the back, you can start at the front. M check is, and that's your M. I know. So, it's got heads-up controls, so they're different controls to normal because it's a TT bike. So these are your brakes. So all I'm going to do first is just see if there's any play in the headset. So has he got his brakes the wrong way round? Right, I'll need to talk to him. Oh no, yeah, it's the wrong way round. Right, that should be front brake, that should be back brake. For some reason, they're the opposite way round. I will check that he realises that they're the opposite way round. Some people do ride what's called European, and European does have the brake on the left-hand side. I have absolutely no idea why, because all bikes, including motorbikes, have the brakes on that hand, the clutch on that hand. So that's your back brake, that's your front brake. If you ride a scooter, even if it's a European scooter, the front brake's there, the back brake's there. Right, so I'm not entirely sure what's going off there. I will check with him. He might be riding European. He might just be used to it. I can't imagine he is, and I don't think he is on his mountain bike. So I might have to switch that over. Brakes seem good. There's no play. Can't feel any play in the headset. Wheels feel good. These are on a standard. I think these are on the standard Planet X hub. Yeah, they are. They're on standard Planet X hub. They are sealed bull race bearings, but I've had a few go with my own bike, especially if I've been riding winter. Now, I can feel something there, but I don't know whether it's just hitting the brake pads. I see the brake pads, that's fine. Both those are okay. So we've done that bit, we've done the headset. Brakes feel good. I'll centre them up before it goes out. Headstock's good, torqued in. It's lifted up the headset now, so that when it comes round, it can't take the bar out as much, because they were pretty bad before. Right, what next? Down to the bottom bracket. I checked the bottom bracket the other day. Chain's not on, so you can see how smooth that is. It's got a nice amount of drag because it's a new one. It's nice and smooth. There's no play in it. Brand new pedals. Now, this is interesting. So these are looks, and these are brand new. Now, I've had a couple of looks in, and there's always been a lot of play on them. And interesting, these are brand new out of the box, and there's actually a little bit of play in them. So it looks like they come with play. But the ones that were bad, they were really bad. But that's interesting that they have actually got some play. Because if that was a Shimano and I was feeling that, I'd be going, we need new bearings. But the weird one, they have a tiny little bearing at the end, like a needle roller bearing, and then there it's just a bush. So they are slightly different. Whereas the Shimano's got one central bearing, but it's quite a wide set bearing, and it's balled as well. It's not sealed, so it's a bit of a faff, but they're quite easy and cheap to do. We'll have to check the position of the derailleur. I haven't got any centering tabs for that, but what I'll do is I'll just do it by eye. It does look like it's slightly off. It looks like it's slightly turned into the frame a bit. So you can see that. So if you look it up, that the outer edge of it should line up with there, and it's not. It's kind of slightly back. So we'll adjust that out, and that'll reduce the amount of chain depth you get when you're at top and bottom, or close to top and bottom. So you're back up there. You all right up there? Yeah, good. Back brakes. Put a quick release back on. Seat post, not going to touch that because I'm assuming he set it to the right height. I do think you might need to put some assembly compound on there though, because that's a carbon seat post, carbon frame with a friction clamp, and it's been lacquered. So, don't know. The lacquer might make it slightly less slippy, but I suspect it will move. So you might have to put some assembly paste on that later. Right, back brakes, they look okay. They did actually work nice. Check the back bearings. Stays are in place. Derailleur. It's not bad actually. That's pretty much where I've set it. I just need to check the upper and lower, and the upper and lower on that as well before I put the chain on. It's always easier to set your gears up without a chain on first for your higher and lowers, especially with no cables on as well. It's like ideal. So it's sort of like a greenfield side, this one. So I'll set the uppers and lowers on that, then I'll reconnect the cables, check it's got the right range of movement, and then we'll stick the chain on last, and then we'll do the final tweaks. So hopefully it shouldn't take too long. So we'll brake there. I'll have a word with Mick and just check out what the position is with the brake levers, because I'll sort them out first before I do anything else. Anyway, right. Bike's up on the lift. Because it's fresh paint, and I don't want to be the one that scratches it. I've put a bit of rag around there. It should be okay. It's been lacquered. It's not green either. Well, it is green. What I mean is it's not fresh lacquer, so it should be fairly hard by now. But I'm just paranoid I'm going to scratch it. So I've stuck it up there like that. It'll be fine. Once the bike's been around the block a few times, I wouldn't normally do that. But I've had a couple of mucky mountain bikes up there, and I do suspect there's a bit of grit and shit in the mounting. I'll sit you on this case for as long as I can. I'm set up here because I've got the heating behind me, and normally I'd have the bike the other way around, and the bike could be over here, and you'd be over there. But the problem is the daylight through these windows again tends to screw up the camera a bit. And I'm still playing with this camera, so we'll see how we go. What we'll do first is I'm still waiting for Mick to get back to me about the brakes. I might have got it slightly wrong. I was always told it was European with the brakes when they're switched, but it's not. Not all of Europe's like that. Italy definitely, because hey, why would you? North America. So, I hope. Always good to check your facts. But anyway, it's not how bikes are normally set up for the UK. So I will just check with him. It might be that he's always ridden North American, Italian, some parts of Europe style, and not UK standard style. And I'm pretty sure I'm right about the scooters. But if I'm not, put it in the bottom. But I've had loads of European scooters, and I'm pretty sure they're all set up like that. Could be wrong. Right. What first? Right, let's get these derailleurs lined up. Let me go and get some tools. So we're probably going to spend a lot of time in here today and some time in there today, and I will definitely need one of them today. Torque wrench. I know I've said it before, if you're going to do any spannering on a bike yourself nowadays, because these parts are so flipping expensive, and the lighter they get, the more flimsier the metal is. So if you get a Dura-Ace, one of these, and you try and torque them up with just one of them, you will absolutely guarantee you will strip it unless you've got expertise and calibrated hands like what I've got. But I still use one of these anyway. And especially with carbon as well, there are certain things that you have got to absolutely make sure you get the right torque. I think we had one of the other videos where we got a dropper in on a very well known brand of mountain bike, and when you torqued the seat stem up to the torque that the frame specified, it actually gripped the dropper and deformed it slightly, so the dropper would snag as it went up, and we had to back it off about 1 Newton. So if it was a German measure, it'd be slightly under gut and tight. Can't believe I did that one again. Anyway, right, let's crack. There's a lot of waffle in this one today. Boom! Thought I'd lost all the tools as well, but I found them again. Right, so we are going to need a Phillips or a posi drive, because I can never remember which one they are, and they are sensitive, and possibly a flat bladed screwdriver as well, because they can be a bit funny. If you can hear me over there. We will need some tools for crimping. We've got the torque wrenches. I need a straight edge, I seem to remember, to project on that thing there, just to make sure I'm not missing something. And do you know what? I wasn't. That is definitely slightly off. Yeah, that's about 3-4 degrees off that. So first thing we'll do is we'll bring that round, then we'll set the upper and lower. So what I'm normally looking for, there is actually a measurement. Let's bring you over here. There is actually a measurement for where that sits in relation to the teeth, and you can get a tool on it to measure it. And again, you can use that to check your level top and bottom. A tool, a vernier scale. Let's use the proper words, since I have been educated in mechanicery. So we'll set that up. I usually do it by eye. It doesn't have to be that accurate, but I tend to get a feel for where it should look. So that doesn't look that bad. It might need bringing out slightly, but in theory it should be in the right place, because all the parts came off the bike and just went back on again. So they just need lining up. But I will check them, because like I said, never had this bike in the workshop before. And I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say anything about when it was built originally. Now these are a bit annoying, because you think you've got them lined up, and then as soon as you crank down on them, they go and move. And I might need adjusting this actually, because it doesn't look quite where I would have it. And the other thing I've got to do is also work out high and low on this, but I think it wants to come down a little bit. No, a bit more. So this is a 5mm. I don't have a Torx setting on these unless it's written on there somewhere, but I do recall they are about 5. So we will set it to 5, 4, 5. There we go. That's another reason it's a good job. Oh, do you know what? That's quite good. I hate working on these bikes that have got close, that have got quite an aggressive angle on, because when the bars do spin round, they do have a habit of hitting the frame, and that's how come the frame got broke in the first place. But it was actually that pointy bit there that went through the frame. Mick's put a more elevated shaft on it now to actually take a bit of pressure off his back, because they're all right for young TT riders and triathletes, but when you get to a more senior age, you don't really want to be bending over that far. So that's come up. Luckily, we've got the stem in the way and the cloth protects it as well. But this is why I don't like working on these. In fact, what I can do is if you tilt it down, it stops it. Right, there we go. So that's set up. Let's just check the elevation on it. Actually, that doesn't look that bad now. That's about where I'd have it. We'll tweak it later. Right, they're loose as well, so they need tightening up. Right, that looks about right. So what I'm looking for is when you do the upper limit, it's pretty much in the centre, so that's enough for it to snag. The only thing I'm concerned about is how loose that is and where that's been routed, because I have a sneaky suspicion that has to loop over. I can't remember exactly, and annoyingly it has and it was loose, so that's probably why it wasn't tight. And unfortunately, I chucked away all my wiring diagrams for these the other day, because it does tell you how you should do them. No, I think that's okay actually. They did vary for models and types of frame as well, and the brazons were slightly different. The frame ones that weren't adapted brazons used to loop over. So what we'll do here is what I'm looking to do is try and get this as tight as possible. You can grab it with a pair of pliers, but the trouble is then you start to nail that up. So we'll just nip that in. That's a little bit tighter. What I forgot to check. Ooh, just spotted that's not good. Come on, Nick. Right. So one thing I didn't spot on the M-check that I should have done, I don't know if you can see that, the adjuster's right out. It's almost hanging out. So I'll just wind that back in a bit, because it's actually coming out of the hole, and then just adjust the brakes up. Backwards, oh yeah, I go backwards. Right, so we'll wang that one right down again. So it's not all the way in, but it's most of the way in. So that's a lot more stable now. You can see it's coming out the bottom. I'll just check the back one as well. No, the back one's okay. This is really starting to get on my nerves now that this frame might stay still. There you go. Right, so that one's one down there. They'll want adjusting now, because you'll see that they are miles off. Brakes are on the ground. Yeah, that's miles off now. There's a bit of snag in it too. That cable might be too long actually. That's another thing that Planet well, actually, in the Holsworths, I've got the same problem. If you have too much of an aggressive loop on the, you can't see it, too much of an aggressive loop on the it tends to have a bit of snag in the cable, and your brakes bind on a little bit. So I'll have a look at that and see if I can make a better adjustment with that. But I'm not going to touch any of the brakes now until we've got Mick come back to me about the whether he wants them changing or not. Right. Let us see. He's been in the wars a bit. Alright, so derailleur looks okay. It's about what I would have stuck it. Maybe a little bit. Wants to go a little bit up, but we'll wait now with it. In fact, no, I'm going to take that up a little bit. Just wants to be up a smidgen. So I was getting the all way around. Phillips, not a posi. Right, that's it. So we'll make sure that's adjusted down. So what you do with these is wind them down and then just turn them a couple of clicks back just in case you over tighten them. There should be an adjuster on here too. I can't see one. What if it's not? That's very, very, very unusual. Oh, no adjusters. Yeah, that's a bit odd. I would have expected there to be an adjuster. I think I need to check with Mick about that one. Cracked it, I think. I worked out what it is. The front mech shifter is non-indexed, so it will just move on its own. It would help if cheers, Mick. It's not been tied up on the frame, so that's got to come off. So just bear with me 2 minutes. Right, that's on, torqued up. Put a bit of assembly paste on it as well. I'm just worried it was sliding around on the paint a bit, so we'll start all over again and realign this up. See, never assume somebody's done something up. That was my fault, because Mick did say it had been loose assembled. So. I'm going to do it with a 4 or a 3. That's a 3. Only Shimano could have 3 different sizes on one device. want his brake swapping out. So that's going to be a bit of a faff, but we'll have a challenge. I don't actually know how these go in. It'd be nice if you could take them. No, that'd be too easy. If you could just flip them over. But I'm going to have to, aren't I? Bugger. I'm going to think about this. So that one's got to go to there. That one's got to go to there. Right, if these cables are the same length, these outers, that one and that one are the same length, then we've dodged a bullet. If they're not, then it's a right roll faff, because I'm going to have to untape everything, unthread everything, swip them over and do it like that, which is a bit of a faff all in all. But anyway, we are where we are. Let's get the chain on. Chain tool. I am assuming it's got a split link in here. What's the chain look like? It's pretty clean. I will check it, because the law of sod says that it won't fit. Has he done his brakes? Oh, he has done his brakes. Oh, he hasn't got a chain guard on. I'll have to donate him one of my special heli tape ones. Of course, because I've made my life so much easier. Why am I doing this? That's not. Paintwork. General idea with this, I'm sure you've seen me do these a few times now, is to try and have it to the point of least resistance. So little one at the back, little one at the front. I know we don't like crossing before everybody jumps on me, but I might have been one off on that one. That might need tightening up again. Oh no, it's not. This chain's in the way. So I didn't think I was going nuts. Thought I'd checked it twice. But I said that, you know the motto in here, we do it right because we do it twice, as Krusty would say. Yeah, don't do the usual trick. The amount of these I've seen with the chain over the capture plate. So there's a little plate at the back that stops the chain from jumping out of the jockey wheels. And the amount of people I see it thread the chain the wrong side of it and then come, my chain's making a right funny noise. Have you done anything to it? No. Are you sure? No. I'm trying to get the chain off. Well, I might have done. Best gadget in the world, this. There we go. So that gives me loads of room to play with the fiddly things. Now, boys and girls, you shouldn't really reuse these split links. But I have it in good authority that these have only been off once before. And a bit more tricky. So I've got sentimental attachment to them. I haven't got any spares either at the moment. It's one of the things I have run out of, and I ain't paying £10 or whatever it was that SRAM were charging for them. Oh, that's the other thing as well. The SRAM ones are slightly better than the Shimano ones. So even if you're running Shimano chains, you can put the SRAM ones on, and they are slightly better. They're less likely to come off. They take a lot more to get on, but they do come off relatively easy. But you will need a tool to put them on. Right, let me just give my hands a quick squeeze. We're back with this. Yeah, if you need to get oil off your hands, it's not. I'd normally advise it, but car cleaner, it gets it off really quickly. You could faff about with your gunks and things like that for ages, but car cleaner gets it off really quickly. Just sting a bit if you've got a bit of a cut, so just watch out with that one. Right, so this is a bit of a Voyager discovery for me now with this one. Let's see how well it behaves. Right, so we're on the little one at the bottom. Let's do it on the bigger one on the top. That's better. Right. That's looking good. Boom! Nailed it first time. Let me see if I can sit you somewhere where you can... let me move your trolley. And you can watch this in all its splendiferousness. This right here is bike porn. It's quick actually. I think we probably want to just take a couple of turns off. Oh, that's better. See by the way it just jumps instantly. Oh, listen to that. That noise is the freewheel. Now I've caught it back up again. Yes, we've got it dropping down nicely, now it's not going up nicely again. So it's the trouble is with these indexes on here, there's no play in them. When you're normally doing your, pay attention, when you're normally doing your shifter on your bars, you've actually got a bit of over. You could call it lash almost, there's an overlap before you take it off. So if you have got a close adjustment, like some of these do have, you've got that opportunity to push it a little bit further. The way these indexes work is there's very little room for error. And if I turn that the wrong way. Yeah, I turned it the wrong way. Wonder why it was getting worse. Right, so we've got a good upshift there. Why didn't you tell me that I got snagged in there? That's what it was. It wasn't the ratchet. I think we'll call that a win on that. Tackle these brakes. So question is, will that fit in there? Will that go through to there? Right. I'll put you back over here so you can see what we're up to when you perch. And we'll get these brakes. Oh, there goes the torque wrench. Don't throw your torque wrench on the floor. It doesn't do it any good. Oh, my back's killing me. I'm supposed to be training today, but my back is absolutely shot. Come on. Boom, done, sorted. Right, we'll do a fast forward, whip all that lot off, and see how we go. It's good timing actually, the battery's about to go flat. Right, we've got both of these out now, so this is where don't screw it up. Right, so this is the front brake. This is going to be interesting because I've no idea how these actually slide back in. Ooh, that was was lucky. Hit it. Look at that. Boom. Get in. So squeeze them on, let your hands relax a little bit, don't bother pulling the cable, and let the luck do the rest for you. In theory, that should be somewhere near. That looks about right. It's adjusted almost down, not all the way down. So spot on that, lovely positive feel. Let's just twist it back round again. Right, so we've got adjustment there as well. So I'll just nip that up now. Now I'll go a bit lower than the torque on these. So it's normally about 6, but I usually take it down to about 5. Just to be on the safe side, because it's not worth it for braking one of these. And to be honest, you're not going to pull your brakes out for the sake of 1 Newton. There you go. Just check the centered. So what you're looking for when the centering is that when you pull the brakes on, it's not moving the frame across. It's got a very slight amount on this side, so you can adjust a lot of it up by just physically moving them with your fingers. But if you want to get them absolutely nailed on, there's an adjuster screw at the back, just there. If you get the right one. That's perfect now. So it's for fine adjustments. But to be honest, if you're on the road and they're off centered and you've changed your wheel over and you've knocked them off something, just grab them with both hands and physically move them. You might have to knock them off the quick release to get enough play behind it, but that's pretty much how you do it. I forgot to start it on again. It was actually getting snagged on the ferrule in there, so once I took that ferrule out, it came straight through. So Mick's done a good job there with his new inners he's put in, so that worked spot on. I've trimmed this down slightly so it's not going up in a big arch, and if you look, it's a lot more smoother line. I did notice as well that this retainer plate was actually on the wrong way around, so potentially that cable could have slipped out. So I'm just going to go and check the front one. I think I probably would have spotted the front one. Yeah, the front one's fine. You could tell there's actually a groove on the back for the cable to sit in, and that's got a curved edge that matches it, so you could see it didn't look right. But anyway, I'll just nip that one up and then we'll test. They're working lovely now. Spot on. A little bit spongy, but I suspect that might be due to the cross piece in there flexing as it's tightened up. They don't use that method on the new bikes now. They don't have an inner at all, so it's purely stacked between the entry and exit point of the frame, and you have to fish them, and they're a great royal pain up the backside, unless you've got some fishing cables. But these are the slightly older way of doing it. Technically, these hum less. So if you've ever heard anybody talk about brake cable hum or cable hum, you don't get it when you've got inners in the frame. You only get it when you haven't got inners. and that's for the same reason that when you've got external cabling that's unsheathed, you see damper donuts on the cabling to stop cable hum or lashing against the frame. Oh, that's twice I've used the word lashing today. Right, so this one's good to go now. I think all I've got to do is just put these end caps on, and then do the BMW customer video, and that's it. Job's a good one. I can turn the heating off and retire back to the house and go and do some studying. That's it, all good. Ends are on. Bike's sorted. I don't think there was anything else we were going to do to this. I think that's about it. Nothing else to do, to be honest. Tires need a bit of air in them. Come on, Mick. God, that one's as flat as a fart as well. I might stick some air in it. No, looks good. A lot less hassle than I thought it was going to be with them brakes. So pleased the way they've done, and they're the right way round now. Sorted out a couple of bits that weren't quite right as well, so happy with that. That's lined up nicely. Seems to be nice and positive. Looks good. Happy with that. Job's a good one. Right, just a wrap up video. That's another one done. Get that one back reunited with its owner. I did slightly tweak that because I noticed it was a little bit too close to there than I was happy with. So I've checked the measurements and just moved it up a couple of millimetres and tweaked it slightly. I'm a lot happier about that. Shifts lovely. Brakes working. They're on the right side now. Gears are set up. Probably need to adjust that back one. I don't know if these are new cables or what, but it just seems to be bedding in. I've had to go back and adjust it a couple of times now. So we'll see what it is. Many happy racing. Right, so remember, click the like button, right? The like button, and subscribe, please. It does help. I am trying to build up some followers and stuff on here, so if you can subscribe as well and ring the bell thing, it does help because it starts tweaking the algorithm, and then it starts shunting more people towards the site, and then I can do more stuff, hopefully. And it does cover the cost of this because all these are doing for free. I don't charge anybody anything for it. I get the odd beer here and there, but I don't charge. I do it purely because I need to keep my hand in, and I enjoy doing it, and I can use them as content for the site as well. So I do have overheads. There's a cupboard full of oils and things in there that I don't charge people for because they're just sat there. Do you know what? And if I've got bits and bobs lying around that I can use to fix something, I don't charge people for that. I have the odd stock items like cables and bearings for bits that break a lot. But tools and things do wear out, so if we can get the YouTube channel built up a bit, it will contribute towards that. And if anybody's got... So, right, here's a big ask, because I prefer to be doing stuff like that. So if you've got any broken lawnmowers or anything with a petrol engine, chainsaw, strimmers, like a generator, anything like that, I do like them. I prefer them more. Motorbikes, if you've got an old motorbike you don't want, or even if you want it and you want me to recommission it, I did a couple of them last year. They're good fun. And I much prefer to be mucking around with things that go vroom vroom and brap brap, though I do enjoy bikes as too. So bikes, motors, yes, less cat toys. We don't need any more cat toys, or some of the other random stuff. I will be cracking into these BMXs at some point because I'm going to let one or both of them go. There's they are genuine Skyways on there, so if anybody wants a BMX, and before I get it powder coated, because I think what I'm going to do is get the chrome one. I stripped the lacquer off it and it was fine, but then it's been stored in a place that was damper than I thought it was, and it's got a bit of surface rust on it. So I am going to get that powder coated, probably white, and that'll look nice with the Skyway wheels on. And the GT frame, that is a genuine GT frame. I might get that powder coated. I haven't decided yet. It's got some the wheels are actually the wrong way around. The wheels should be on the other bikes. So I might get that GT done, Depends whether I can get some decent decals for it, or I might just leave it as it is, as a bit of a rat bike. But it is genuine GT, it's all there. The only thing I've changed is I've changed the front disc to take the slightly larger back cog. But anyway, waffling, we'll look at them later. But and I think they're the bars off there, possibly. Or no, sorry, they are the original GT bars. They were some retro, I won't say old school, they were kind of not as old school. I think they were, those bars are kind of a copy of a Harrow, but not the proper Harrow bars. Or were they the DP bars? I can't remember now. The ones that went all the way across the top. I think they're slightly later things. I think they're kind of late 80s, early 90s bars. It's a mid-school frame. You can tell because it's got a spinner on the headset, and it's got the straight through bits on it. So it's not my cup of tea. It's not a genuine frame, that. But it has got a genuine Skyway saddle on it. It's got some genuine Skyway wheels. I think even the grips are genuine. They're either mushrooms or they're Skyway grips. I can't remember. Oh no, they're not. The Diamondback grips. That's weird. I didn't even realise I bought them. Diamondback, yeah, real Diamondback grips. I thought they were mushies, but or they'd be next generation mushies, because the original mushies did look like mushrooms. That's why they were called mushies. Anyway, we'll get them sorted out and turn them around. Mountain bike needs a fair bit of work doing on it. It's probably about 12 months overdue a full strip down, but it keeps going. So it's just had some new tyres on. I checked the forks the other day, they're fine. Bottom bracket's fine, it's not dragging in the slightest, so that can hang on for a bit. It is due a chain, actually. Oh, that reminds me. Didn't check mix chain for him. This is where we find out the chain's absolutely knackered. No, that's looking good. No, that's fine, there's plenty in that. Let's check this one. Another tool you should get. See, that's getting a bit low now. That's almost through there. I did check this before. Yeah, that's through that one. So it's on borrowed time, this chain. It's through the one. Yeah, that's it. It's gone now. That needs that chain needs doing sooner rather than later. So it is just, there you go. It's just going on. So that needs doing before I take one of my chain rings out. So that can get done next weekend. I do have some chains in stock, I think, because you cannot get chains. I think I've got an 11 and a 10 left. That's an 11. What else have we got in the store cupboard? And that's a 10, so that's what it needs. It's a 10. So I've got a couple of bits and bobs in there, which I just keep stock of, so I can turn people around. So I always need chains. So whenever I see anybody doing an offer on chains, because they're ridiculous. You used to pay for a Shimano proper Ultegra or XT chain. You used to pay about 25 quid for, and then now like 40, 50 quid. It's ridiculous. So I'm looking at other alternatives, but I do like the chains. They work very well with the chain sets. So look, a peek in my cupboard. Inner tubes as well, because that's another thing everybody comes with. Right, we'll call it a day there. Sorry we waffled on a bit at the end. So like I said, hit like, subscribe. Thanks for joining me for a bit of mumbling, spannering in the lovely Yorkshire weather. Until next time, catch you later.